Hello and welcome. This is Marc Blatstein. I am Marc Blatstein, the physician founder, Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service. This is the fourth and I believe last YouTube on how to maximize your benefit through the First Step Act and early release. This is going to now, we're going to speak about the release plan. And the release plan is you need to implement the release plan in order to take advantage of the First Step Back earned time credits. Because when you earn time credits, you can get up to a year off your sentence or 365 days. And anything over that, you can then get time into halfway house and or home confinement, which would also be under you still would be under that extra time under the control of the halfway house. But your reentry plan, all of this information, all of the content for the reentry plan was started before your pre-sentence interview. And then it was built upon everything that you have added to it since you have been in prison or incarcerated. And that has included everything that you have documented from your First Step Back programming, all of the either books that you've read and things that you have learned every day that you've been there, that you have, kept a running journal or log or documented along the way. If you are one of the unusual people where you are an artist, great. Then you have done a magnificent artwork, but you need to have done a release plan. And then in the end, the release plan is included, what you have planned to do, why you need time in the halfway house. Because you have a social security card needs to be in there, you have a driver's license, you may need to retake a driver's test. You need to put in there where you're going to be lived. Do you need, how you're going to get around? Do you have a car? Do you have someone dependable that will drive you around? If you've taken the drug program, you need to have looked into where will be the either Narcotics Anonymous class, the Alcoholics Anonymous class, all of the tedious information that you think is normal that you will have to do need to be planned out in detail. Things that you would normally budget into a daily life, how much you will spend on rent, utilities, food, all of that needs to be outlined. And you can find all of that through my website. All of this should need to be put into a release plan so that your case manager can look into it and have confidence to recommend you, because they have the prerogative to also offer you Second Chance Act, which is more time out of the Federal Bureau of Prisons and into a halfway house. But if you don't have a release plan, then why should the case manager appear to care more about your future than you do? Because if you don't care enough to put into a release plan anything, then as a stakeholder, why should they then make the effort to offer you the second chance, the benefits of the Second Chance Act? If you don't have a release plan, why should the case manager recommend you to a residential reentry manager who needs that recommendation as they sift through applicants for their limited number of beds that they have, because they don't have a lot of beds. There are more people making application to beds in halfway houses than they have beds available. And the residential reentry managers, they need to know that whoever gets the beds will have a successful reentry into their community and not get in trouble and wind up having to go back into the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And so all of this has to be, to be documented all along the way, starting from before you have your pre-sentence interview, as crazy as that sounds. But the judge is going to ask you at your sentencing hearing, what's your plan? Not to come back into the courtroom. So that's the first hint that you need to have some sort of reentry plan. And then all through your stay in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, you're going to need to have all of your efforts put into your reentry plan. And it's hard to think, what are you going to say from the very beginning? Well, I mean, before you enter the your pre-sentence interview, you've had a lot of time to think, possibly. You can say that you've had a lot of time to think. You didn't realize your decisions were as bad as they were. You didn't understand that, you created a lot of pain through your actions, and you created victims as a result of your actions. And you know that once you go to prison, there are programs through the First Step Act, and that you need to make changes in how you think, and through your actions. You know that you need to change because you owe this to the victims, you owe it to the community, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to yourself. I hope you have found this series of 4 YouTubes helpful. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and I hope you all have a good day. If you choose to engage me, or please engage someone else, but take this all very seriously. I hope you have a good day.